Hello, Quincy. Tom Koch here, giving you an update on COVID-19 as it relates to the city of Quincy. The latest stats in Quincy, we have 627 confirmed cases, 52 deaths, and more than 230 now that have recovered, thank God. Again, we express our sympathy to those families who have been affected by this crisis, especially those who have been living in nursing homes and the loved ones have not been able to go in and visit them. So we continue to keep them in our prayers. Joining me today is Commissioner of Natural Resources here in Quincy, David Murphy. David has 5 different divisions he's responsible for. And one of them is parks, obviously, Commish. And I know that we're getting into this time of year when the grass is growing. We're usually marking the fields for sports in the spring. It's pretty bizarre right now in your world as well. So what are you doing with the guys as we speak?
Yeah, we feel very bad that we don't have a spring season. As you remember, we had a unseasonable winter, and our guys took a lot of pride in getting the spring fields ready this year for high school and youth sports. And unfortunately, it looks like we certainly not going to have a high school season. We may not have much of a spring season. So we were very proud. I know our guys are very proud of the condition of the fields going into the season. And unfortunately, they sit fallow because of COVID-19. We are finding a way to find the silver lining in the fields not being in use. There are a lot of minor construction projects, drainage projects that we've undertaken. All of our fields get a ton of use this time of year. With people not on the fields, we're able to take on some projects that we otherwise wouldn't have. So our folks have been great. We take all of the necessary precautions consistent with the direction given by CDC and our local health department. But our guys have been working straight through to keep the parks not only clean and neat for the folks that are out for a walk or a run, but make sure that they're in better shape when we return to normalcy, maybe in the summer or fall.
This is very unusual not to see people in the parks this time of year. And I know one of the guidelines and one of the orders we had from the health department and certainly the state was to prevent any of these group gatherings. And I know we had some trouble early on with people playing pickup basketball, and imagine we had to cover the hoops so people wouldn't be using the basketball courts. And I know you had to do some of the things at tot lots. Want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. The first thing we closed with the tot lots, there was some information out there about the surfaces, both metal and plastic, being able to hold the virus. So out of an abundance of precaution, we closed the tot lots down very early. There are also convenient places for people to congregate, especially young children. So we closed the tot lots about a month and a half ago, very early on. We kept the basketball courts open initially with the hope that people would individually adhere to the CDC guidelines and not play in large groups, maybe shoot around by themselves with another person, family member. Unfortunately, there were a number of locations where 3-on-3 games, 5-on-5 games were happening. So the city first put garbage bags over the hoops, and now they're zip tied, unfortunately, to keep people from using the basketball courts. So that slowly grew into trying to manage a proper use. We do think the parks are going to play a very important role in people's peace of mind and their health and exercise, and making sure that they don't get cabin fever and get locked in the house for a couple of months. So we do encourage people, listen, our parks are open, even some of our cemeteries, to take a walk through, to get some fresh air, get some exercise. But in doing so, please make sure you still adhere to the guidelines. Still make sure that you pick up after yourself. We don't want to be picking up masks or gloves or dog mess bags. Please do your very best to work with us. We're trying to keep the parks open. We're trying to allow people that outlet. But let's work together.
In addition, I know we hear a lot in the news about the first responders and the medical community on the front lines of this, which is so important. But what you do is part of the infrastructure of the city. And what people don't realize is the cemetery departments continue to operate as well. So we're burying the dead. The guys are coming to work and handling those cases. So I'm certainly grateful for all the public employees who continue to work very hard through this, though everyone has had to adjust the way they do things, the way we do things. And I hope we come out of this fairly soon. There's a lot of decisions we have to make. I know we were talking offline about whether there's going to be a Flag Day parade, whether we're going to have a full rec program this year. So a lot of thinking going on right now and strategic planning going on for the next few months. So we'll certainly keep you informed as we have been. If you have any questions about anything related to COVID, we have that hotline, 617-376-1288. While I'm on the program here with Commissioner Murphy, you have any issues with trees or questions about park or rec programs, 617-376-1251. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. God bless.